she was talking about me. Madam Toastmaster, our cup runneth over. This is an extra meeting. More is less. Fewer people are more. We are really fortunate to have a club that is thriving with, I think, 57 or 58 members as of tonight. We started on time. Jill gave us a beautiful introduction. I've heard of tongue-in-cheek. I'm not sure I've ever heard of hand-on-cheek. But it worked. Mustafa was invited up here. This is a lovely gesture that this club provides, that a guest is immediately involved and feels part and feels welcome. And I hope, Mustafa, that you did feel that. And it is really part, and what he said uses the words, it's part of his own personal growth. Satya started with a smile, gave us a warm welcome, and beautiful phrases that came out. Eloquent persuasion. I loved this is the phrase of eloquent persuasion. And then she referred to Anita Roddick. Anita Roddick has passed away, and I'm not sure if you mentioned that it was the late Anita Roddick.
No, I didn't actually.
And that would have been an additional fact that would have touched us on our hearts even more. But Anita Roddick herself had a beautiful phrase about her money being where her heart is. And I love that phrase too. It was a joy that you shared that with us. Niti, when you said Madam Toastmaster, Niti, where are you? When you said Madam Toastmaster and welcome, did you say guests or guest? I wasn't sure.
I think I said.
And I suspect you said guests. And I'm putting that out because I want to demonstrate for all of us that this is not just something we say by rote. We mean it. So when we say Madam Toastmaster, we look at her. And when we say fellow Toastmasters, we look at them. And tonight we have a welcome guest, and we look at him. And that's a meaningful top to our speech. So I hope that's a helpful suggestion for you. Denise is our character. And here was the one illustration which is, again, I hope a useful suggestion. It was the only time in the evening that I could actually pick it up, and that's why it's so powerful. Where Denise, at the end of having described what her role was as our counter, said thank you. and Satya immediately came up and said thank you to Denise. And so we had this thank you. And it's a little pet hate of my own, and I warmly commend to everybody that we try to avoid this repetition. And Satya is actually brilliant at avoiding it. And that was the only time it happened in the whole evening. Because for the rest of the evening, Satya was expressing her gratitude with compliments to each of us. And that is the way in life. If you wish to express your gratitude and convince somebody that you're grateful, show them you're listened by what you say about what they've said. It's much more meaningful, and Satya did that beautifully. I think I'm going to jump to the parts of the evening that haven't yet been evaluated, because that's the benefit of the general evaluation. Let's go to Angela. Angela Hook is a Toastmaster, is a topics master for the evening, and it was really delightful to have that little dialogue before the meeting, in which it wasn't quite clear which Angela was which. And the two of them sorted it out so diplomatically, so kindly, so generously. And that's the stuff of HOD. The net result was that the Angela who thought she was going to do it made way for the Angela who thought she was going to do it. Work that out. The net provided us with our topics, and they were excellent topics, Angela. They were the kind of topics that were easily reachable by everybody in the room. And everybody was able to take those topics to whatever level they chose. And nobody stumbled, and that was the test of the skill that you had used in choosing your topics. I was delighted by them. I'm going to pick up one little point about the way that people handle topics, even though it's not strictly my role, just because I so admired it. I loved the way Mustafa was solid on his feet. You probably didn't notice it because he was so solid. And that's the whole point about being solid on your feet. That we listen to what the person is saying, we're not distracted by his rocking or his moving. And that really impressed. Balmic on Ade. Balmic. You gave us nice descriptions of what you liked about his speech, and it was intelligent. You then asked us this lovely question about did he get to the point? And then you answered it. And the answer that you gave surprised, because you said the answer was that you felt that he was telling us about learning from history. And of course he was. What is so interesting about it is I'm not quite sure that he did it as well as Balmic suggested he did it. And if I had a suggestion for Ade about his speech, it would have been more focus on the very aspect that Balmic actually so cleverly picked up. Because it's a lovely speech. And I must admit, I did love the point at the end, the discovery of who the third election winner was. It was fascinating. Balmic mentioned that the slides were easy to follow, and then he had recommendations, and that's the key to good evaluation. More preparation than before, good eye contact even with glasses, that he slowed it down well. And then there's this little bit of phrase, interactive, humorous and influencing. Nice three adjectives. A lovely evaluation, and the stuff of what evaluations should be. Cinema on Sonia. The title. I love that title, You Were Born Rich, by Bob Proctor. And if I was Cinema, I would have just underlined that it's suitably cryptic, is the word I would have used for it. That's why it appeals. You told us it appeals, and it would be lovely to know why it appeals. And it's because it's cryptic. And I commend to all of us when we're choosing speeches, titles for our speeches, that we look for that kind of cryptic title. It sold the book. When Sinner talked about the chair, I would like to see him actually sit on this chair. Neither of them did this. I was sure Sinner was going to do this. He missed a trick. His recommendations were also good. I listed 3 recommendations. I won't repeat them. Except for the very end one, he asked for a more specific action plan. I'm not sure that you actually illustrated an example of what you meant by that. And that would have added strength to the recommendation. To actually come up with a constructive suggestion as well. Would have really helped. But it was a good evaluation. Indra on Tony. Well, I have to be careful here. I'm talking about a distinguished Toastmaster. Indra gave a classic, perfect, I'm going to go, a classic, perfect evaluation of what he liked, what his suggestions were, and what he liked again at the end. And it was simple and clean. His recommendations, Tony could have moved more. He had one, that one amused me. He could have made the podium ajar. I'm not sure what a podium ajar means. Aside. It was an interesting use of the word ajar. I liked the proper clock idea, and I liked the idea of taking care of Trump. They were good suggestions. A suggestion of my own for all of these evaluations is that at the end of it, it is a useful thing to use the phrase in summary. You may actually be avoiding it on purpose because you're beyond using it, I don't know. But I think for us to end an evaluation with in summary is a good discipline. When you're in competition, it tells the competition judges that you are conforming with the shape of a good evaluation. You are actually bringing it to a close. Denise as our counter, I loved her at the beginning. I loved the way Denise kept to the point of what an R counter is. She didn't try and evaluate, she didn't try and be the grammarian. She did her job and she made us laugh. And I love the fact that Mike made no R's wrong. David is grammarian. David is always a good choice for grammarian, we know that. And he gave us very, very good, simple, quick suggestions. Avoid okay, read speakers, avoid just. And then he admired the way I learn. I watch, listen, I listen, I learn. And my favourite of the whole evening was his description of cinema as using a grammatical mangle.